discussion. We're here tonight to talk about building community, but also navigating the NDIS. So I'm Michelle Ridsdale and I'm the founder of Kaboose. We're an inclusive, safe online community for neurodivergent people to connect, learn about their brain and thrive in your way. We're built by neurodivergent people for neurodivergent people. Just a reminder, the session is being recorded, so you can watch the replay afterwards. If you have questions, please pop them into the chat, so we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end or even throughout. Joining me for this session is Tara Thompson. So I'll just give you a bit of a background of Tara. So Tara is the CMO and co-founder of Kindship, an early intervention enthusiast with a background in primary and early education, early childhood education, I should say. She's passionate about play-based therapy and equipping families with practical tools and genuine connection. Tara is the mum of three, one with a diagnosis of cerebral palsy and autism. Tara brings lived experience to everything she shares, leading Kindship's community and creating resources that speak to the real everyday journey of disability parenting. So we are in good hands. Thank you, Tara, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we have plenty of questions. Some people have submitted questions ahead of time. So we'll work our way through those. And if anyone else has any questions, just drop them into the chat. So I'd love to hear more about Kindship and what inspired you to create Kindship and how the idea came to life, I guess.
So I think it was a few years back. So it is Kindship. Everybody says Kindship though.
Oh, okay, Kindship. See, great. Yeah.
Everyone says it. I think even when if I ever type it in, it comes up as Kindship, like online, and I'm like, it's Kindship.
Yeah, Kindship.
Yeah. So and that we sort of came with that name because Summer thought like kindness, that's what we're all about, and kinship, so we sort of put together. But I came on as a co-founder a few years ago. So Summer is our CEO. She's neurodivergent and she's also a qualified speech pathologist. So she was seeing all of these families and it just kept occurring to her. She was seeing all of these beautiful children and would see the parents and the carers, and she couldn't shake who is looking after them though. Like, I am seeing their children, I'm giving them all these things to do, these advice, and then they have to go off and implement it. And it's just something that kept sitting with her. And then one day, I remember she said she went out to the car park and one of the parents that she had just seen was in the car crying, having a breakdown. And it just, from then it hit her. And I think she felt like she had her calling, and she started to interview families and parents all around Australia. And the common theme was that they were isolated. Nobody understood them. They were lacking resources and support. So she was on a mission to change that. So Kindship first started as an app for connection, similar to Kaboose, but for parents and carers. Just to offer that support. You could go on and ask questions. You could find other families who were local nearby. But we also had a Facebook group, and we noticed that just the families kept gravitating toward the Facebook group. I think they were already on there. So it was just another thing for them to do. So another thing that we were noticing was just the NDIS. They were struggling with the NDIS. They needed support. So we decided to make plan management as well as another layer of Kindship. But I guess plan management with community, and plan management where every single person that works with us has that lived experience and connection. So that's sort of the backstory. I came on board because Summer was following my Instagram page. So when my daughter was diagnosed, I think at about one, I started an Instagram account. Purely, it was just to share with my family what we were doing. It was on private, and one day I was doing heaps of therapy play at home, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to share this actually, and I just started like hashtagging bimanual therapy or cerebral palsy. And before I knew it, it just blew up. And I had this amazing community of families thanking me for showing up. But it was never intended like that, but it became a therapy outlet for me as well. So Summer was actually following along, and she sort of had Kindship established. I think it was running under a different name. And then she felt it was missing that parent perspective as well. So that's when I and a few of the other co-founders came on, who also had a community behind them. And we've sort of went leaps and bounds from there. We were just chatting before about how many directions a startup goes, and you sort of do one thing and then you're like, oh no, we really need your help in this area. So it's constant go. But it's been an amazing journey. So it's a little bit of the backstory.
A startup is a bit like that. You are navigating the journeys, but that's a lovely story. Thank you for sharing that. How do you describe the support that you provide parents and carers in terms of how is it different from other platforms or services even?
Yeah, I think it's hard. I went to an event recently, like one of the Ready Set Connect events, and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, it's so hard to say in just a sentence. Because obviously we have the community, we have the plan management, we have some amazing, one of our co-founders is just this tech wizard who's building an amazing app with like Barb. So we're making an e-navigator. Like there are so many different aspects. We're offering free family support sessions. So I guess with Kindship, there's a little bit for everyone. Which when I was going through the thick of, my daughter was diagnosed at 7 months, and I think that's what was missing for me. So having somewhere, I always remember going in and to our first appointment, it was like, do this, go there, do this. And it was so overwhelming. And I often think, like, imagine if it was just like, sign up to this group, like check them out. So it's sort of a soft landing platform, I think. But then there's a lot of parents who have children who are recently diagnosed, but then there's a lot of parents who have adults who are well and truly grown up and who like to share their lived experience, or who have made friendships along the way, and they're still seeking that support from others. We have the family support sessions, which is completely free, and that's from 0 to 6. And you don't have to have a diagnosis or a delay or an NDIS plan. It's purely something's going on, or the preschool's flagged this, or I think I need to get a diagnosis, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm on the NDIS, I don't understand it. It can be absolutely everything. You come to us, share your questions. We have a parent peer navigator, and they will help, like they'll put an action plan together for you. So there's that layer. We have the plan management, which, like I said, has that lived experience. So if it's NDIS support and invoicing, you're going to get on the phone to somebody who knows what they're talking about and who can relate. It's not just no, you can't have that. We really, truly do get it. So, I guess there's a lot of aspects. So there's something there for everyone. It's have it all, or it might be something that
specific,
depending where you're at.
It's so true, isn't it? I remember going back, it's a long while now that my son was diagnosed neurodivergent, and I just remember being completely overwhelmed with, you need to do this and this and this and this. And that was before the NDIS. In fact, it was back when there was scope funding, I think it was way back when. And so, we'd applied for that. And then, later on when he was heading towards teens, we, applied for the NDIS, and, but like the whole process, very overwhelming. So it's wonderful to hear that there's a place for people to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what would you say, like now in hindsight, has been the most sort of rewarding part of building this business? I mean, you've come on board kind of in a lovely way of, doing your own therapy, but now here you are part of this this amazing organization.
I think for me, so like I said, I had that account for Willow, which I still have. It looks different now because she's 10.
I'll have to go follow you now.
We used to share a lot, but she's 10 now, and I sort of had a little bit of a break because it gets a bit. She's older. It's her story. It's not so much like this is what we're doing and these are the activities. But she's loves it, and so she's like, "Mum, you need to get back on there. Like, we need to be raising awareness." And she's just she's a character. So we are back on there a little bit now. But I guess the most rewarding part is knowing you're making a difference. So sometimes I'll like Kindship socials. It's very much not schedule this content in. It's very much like what I'm feeling on the day and putting it out there for the world and thinking like, oh, is this too much or are people going to get it? But then you'll get a message and people are like, thank you so much. Like, I feel so seen. Nobody's ever like said, you just perfectly worded how I was feeling. And so it sort of helps people. And then I guess with the free webinars we've been doing, the feedback from them has been amazing, saying these are NDIS focused, but like some of the comments are like the NDIS needs to learn something from you, or thank you for explaining things in a way that I understand. So to know that that's what I get to do for a job, like to help parents feel seen and validated and not overwhelmed. Like, I just feel like it's, you can't really beat that.
Yeah, isn't it? It's great, isn't it, when you get the feedback from, community members that say, that they feel seen and heard and validated. It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
So going back to the NDIS, I know from my own experience it can feel pretty overwhelming for families. Yeah. What do you see as some of the biggest challenges that participants and parents face?
Yeah. I think right now there's been so many changes lately. They just seem to keep coming. So obviously right now, I think it's the changing and keeping up, like whether it's the funding periods or the impairments or all of these new rules that are coming out. I know we're often seeing in our Kindship Connect group, a lot of parents are, and through plan management, not knowing how to spend their funding at the moment. They have this consumable budget, but you can't seem to really spend it on anything. Or families are scared to spend it on the wrong thing because nothing's clear. So that's definitely a big challenge. That we actually recently did a free NDIS. We run decoding the NDIS webinars. And one of the ones we did was on like, what can you spend your NDIS funding on? And we had over 500 people tune in on that.
Wow. So, yeah. Oh, wow. That's not surprising. So one of our members would be very interested to go listen to that for sure.
Yeah, well, they're all on YouTube. I've actually, that one went for 2 hours. So I broke it up.
Okay.
I broke it up into snippets. So it could be tech. You have a tech question, you can go and look at the tech snippet, which might go for 7 minutes. So they're all free to access. And we've heard great things from those. So that would definitely be a big one. I guess another thing is like plans, if families aren't having enough funding, wanting to go for a review, but then they're scared if they do, what's going to happen? Like, will they get less funding? That's a common thing that we're finding also. And I guess just knowing how to put evidence together. Like, I know myself before Kindship, I very much thought I knew what I was doing. I'm like, well, I can prove it. Like, this is what we need. But it's so much more than that. There's so much to it. So we also give like lots of tips to families about, like in the webinars as well, about what evidence you need to submit, what they're going to look at and how to lay it out. Because I guess you don't know. You don't know. You're sort of winging it on your own. So I definitely think it's the fear to make mistakes, what to spend the funding on, and just knowing how to approach a review is probably what we're seeing.
Yeah, we've found the same thing. It's really hard to know what to spend the funding on,
Yeah.
especially as we move into adulthood and young adulthood. It's it can be tricky, and then with all these changes, you're never sure when the review is actually going to be, and then
and
if it's quick.
Changed as well. So Willow's plan was rolling up. I'm like, surely I'm going to hear from them soon. And then this happened last year too, and it rolled over.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's rolled over. That's okay. But then I got a call like 2 months later, and it's like, hello, we're doing your planning meeting today. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. No preparation. Yes.
No preparation. So this time it's rolled over, and I'm like, no, I'm prepared. I've got all my reports because I'm expecting a phone call to be like, hi, Tara, I'm here to do your planning meeting. So it's just wild.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it seems to be very inconsistent, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we do get a lot of questions too from our community. People looking for tips when they're just starting their journey, like, what sort of things should people look out for when they're applying, or even how they start their sort of application?
Yeah, so I'm definitely of the Kindship team, not the NDIS guru. So I can only sort of speak from my experience or what I've heard. But I think like the biggest thing that I've sort of seen with parents coming in is that they're sort of overwhelmed, like they feel like they should know what they've got to do. Like, but it's not the case. It is confusing. It is overwhelming. My daughter, she was rolled out. She was one of the first ones to roll out. We were on Better Start funding before the NDIS, but yeah, it's been 10 years and I'm still like, what do I do? It's confusing. It changes all the time. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You're not meant to know what to do. It's a very, very confusing system. Sometimes I think it's made to be confusing, so people just give up. That it's sort of not worth the fight, not worth the hoops. So it is very confusing. So yeah, I definitely think cut yourself some slack. But also talking to others, like engaging on the Kindship Connect group. We often have families reaching out and say, how do I approach a review? How do I do a carer's letter? How do I do this? So to have somebody with lived experience sharing their wisdom, I feel like that lands the best because it's in language that is relatable. It's not all of this confusing NDIS terminology that overwhelms you even more. So I think just connecting with people like that. I think I wish I had plan management earlier on. I feel like it's actually quite useful, probably more so now with all the changes. So I feel like that would help. Obviously, if you can get a support coordinator, but that's hard to get funding for. But yeah, I feel like it's cutting yourself some slack, jumping on webinars. I think we've had 4 webinars now, and we'll have like a topic. So if we've done described supports, funding periods, what can you buy, how to get a support worker, and we will have a webinar which we have slides. We send families all the PDFs. If we talk about a resource, they get that as well. It's completely free. There's no attached to anything. Obviously, if you want to sign up to plan management, that's amazing, but there's nothing attached. We're all parents. We want to share the information. So I host that. I definitely don't give the advice, but I host that with Hayley from Ali Disability. So she's a support coordinator.
Okay.
And then COO of Kindship. She also is on that. So I sort of put the slides together and we will just go through it together. The 3 of us talk about it similar to this, and people can ask questions. And then the next week we also have a follow-up Q&A where we jump on a Google Meet. It's just a casual chat. If you didn't understand something in the webinar, then just ask in the chat and we'll talk it out. Very relatable as well. I think Hayley's dropped a few F-bombs in there.
So it's a real conversation then.
It's a real conversation, and it's real
Good.
mums that are going through the journey, that are going through the frustrations. It's me asking the questions like, what are you talking about? I don't understand that. So there's probably other things out there like that, but I feel like this, we've got such great feedback
Sounds
from
great.
this. Parents are always coming back and saying, can I have that? Can I have all the ones, like all the webinars, which is why I actually have a resource sheet, which I've put all of the resources and all the webinars and the links ready to go. So I'm happy to share that.
If you can, share that with us, and we'll get that out to our audience as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it just for parents, or can young adults or adults who are looking to apply for themselves join?
Yeah, absolutely. Young adults. We started out, I guess, for that community of parents. So
Yes.
we very much are sort of in that pediatric space, but we have a lot of adult participants who are plan managed by us. We have a lot of adult participants jumping onto the webinars, because we've sort of been tracking, like asking where they're coming from. So a lot are just have an NDIS plan themselves. We also have a lot of providers and therapists that have been jumping on the webinars, because they too don't know what's happening. So I guess that's another point to add to the what we just spoke about, that professionals that are in the field also don't know what's going on. So it is confusing. So get the help.
Great. We'll definitely send that out with this recording. So one of our young adult members asked what sort of things would benefit them on the NDIS. I know that's sort of a hard question, because I know from my own experience, my experience is very different to someone who's neurodivergent but needs different things. Do you have a kind of a broad sense of what's helpful for some? And I can certainly talk about my son. But
I did do a webinar, which is a bit older, and it was about like sort of those sort of next steps, what to do after school, and like support to sort of help you in the workforce and help you like get independent. So I guess support workers play a big role. I'm like Willow's a lot younger, so she's 10. So personally, I haven't navigated that side. We do have a lot of one of our senior plan managers, actually, she has 2 daughters that are sort of entering adulthood. So she would have a lot of tips. So if anyone is plan managed, feel free. She's always up for a chat. She goes above and beyond to help like our members out. But in the Connect group also, you can jump on there and ask the question. But I'm probably not the best to give advice. I don't have experience in that area.
Yeah, we've certainly over the years used the funding for different things. And of course, also acknowledging the rules have changed over time. But, we've had, sort of that life coaching, which I know coaching is now not part of the NDIS, but in the past it was. And, that was very valuable in helping, our son Nick navigate, life through that sort of just ending school. Wasn't able to go to school actually, but in those years there, we've had some physical therapies, sometimes with the physiotherapy, depending on what that, because he has hypermobility, that sometimes helps. So there's a few things you can definitely. We also have a support coordinator, which we don't need as much now, but when Nick was much younger, we had complex support because things were pretty tricky. So we were looking at all sorts of different things. So, sometimes it was around the devices, helping with the sort of, reading to try and get through some of the school and some of those things. So it's so individual though, and it changes. So what we needed 3 years ago compared to what we need now is different. And what we needed 10 years ago is different. So
absolutely. a bit worried. Well, I think first step for us is high school, like getting
Yes.
through high school, and because school's a bit of a hit and miss for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I guess you just don't know. You can't plan too far ahead because, like you
No.
said, a few years it could be completely different.
Exactly.
It was only last year the thought of Willow having a support worker, we just didn't even try because, like, I feel like it's going to cause more harm than good. She'll be heightened. It's just going to cause more anxiety. But now we're sort of 3 hours here and there. She can have one. So I guess you
Yeah.
can, yeah, sort of get advice from others. So it's in your head of how things could maybe look. And then I think
Yeah.
you just learn as you go. And I feel like your child very much guides you on the next steps as well. I know, actually thinking of that, a few parents in the Connect group have mentioned like volunteer work, getting like your young adults into some volunteer work, just to sort of be out there
Yeah.
in the workspace. It could be they go with a support worker. um, I know Willow already would love that. Wherever we go somewhere, she just wants to be in there and work and be
Yeah. Oh, so cute.
and there's just so
Yeah.
much skills that come from that.
Yeah.
Obviously, a very low pressure environment and probably something that they're interested in, but I think that's a nice gentle step in that
Yeah.
adulthood.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's a great support coordinators can play such an amazing role in
yeah,
just helping with some of that for sure.
yes,
And many people ask what the difference is between self-managed and plan-managed, and you've been sort of touching on this a bit.
yeah,
Can you tell me what the benefits are, or what's the difference, and what are the sort of
yeah.
benefits of each?
So I Kindship started play management. I think it was a year and a half ago, and we were always self-managed. My husband actually did a lot of the invoices and the admin. He was always on his computer, did a lot of that thing anyway. So he handled a lot of that side. I was very much anti plan management because I was like, I sort of, I think there's a lot of misconceptions around plan management, that they're gatekeepers or you have less choice and control. And I very much thought that. Kindship started plan management, and I was sort of like, well, I'm a co-founder. I sort of have to join, don't I?
Yeah, that's yes.
Yeah. So, but we did, and I think it's obviously we do play management a lot different. So there's a lot of extras that come with our service, but I, hand on heart, could not imagine not being play managed now. I remember when we first did, my husband was like, so but what do we do? Like, don't we have to still put the invoice in or do? And I'm like, no, we do nothing. Like, we do nothing. And that's sort of what it's been for us since I've been plan manager. We don't have to worry about anything. And now which I would anyway because I work there, but I've got somebody there, and I'm not sure about the plan managed companies are like this, but if I have a question that I'm unsure about, I send an email and they write it all down. I ask, can I have this? And they let me know. So I guess it's just having that support. It's given us back time. And we don't have to worry about the rules and, oh, am I going to get in trouble for this? That's sort of on the plan manager. So it just takes just a big layer of that stress and overwhelm away, I have found. I do think a few years ago it was a little bit different, perhaps self-managed, and this is just my experience, but I know Hayley, who we do the webinars with, and Tabitha have said that the rules have changed so much and it's so strict now that it's not like back in the day when people thought, oh no, you get more control, like you get more approved if you're self-managed. That's very much not the case now. So some people really like to be in control. The admin doesn't bother them. They want to be the one that stays on top of every single thing. So then self-managed is probably for you. But I guess, yeah, plan management, you sort of have a co-pilot in your NDIS journey. It takes away the admin and the stress. So, for instance, people that are completely new, Willow will have an appointment and that's all I do. So I can
Do you have to approve the invoice or
so
anything? Or?
with Kindship, we could to start with. I didn't, because I was like, I've used all the same ones. Like, I'm very much know who the plan managers are in Kindship, so I didn't worry. So I literally didn't say anything, but I do approve them now, purely just because I wanted to on the app. I was testing what it would look like.
Yes, good.
But I actually like seeing them come through. But all it is I get an email, you got an invoice to approve. It comes up what it is. I click approve, and that's all it is from now.
Yeah, great.
But so that's the gist of plan management. I think with Kindship, like I mentioned, we have that lived experience and that very community focused layer of everything that we do, and the free NDIS webinars. We did have the Barb app, which is sort of going having a bigger impact at the moment. So that's not within the plan management service at the moment, but the webinars have sort of replaced that, in the family support pathways that we offer as well. So yeah, I guess it's personal preference, but just take that admin stress away and gives you some time.
Yeah, because it is time consuming, especially if you
Yeah.
have lots of providers. When you have
Yes.
less providers, maybe it's a little less stressful, but
Yeah.
I think it is great, especially when you're kind of navigating the rules and not
Absolutely.
sure,
Yeah.
what you can and can't.
Well, we're going through at the moment like just some minor house mods, and like I said, I don't have a clue. I don't know if I can get it, what I can do, and it's just yeah, I just asked them, like, do I have funding for this? Where is it? Where do I find it? And they just laid it all out for you, so it takes out sort of that guesswork for me. But something else that I think a lot of families were unsure about is if it comes out of your funding, that plan management fee, which is, it doesn't. It's something that you get on top of your funding. And another thing that often comes up is making the switch, or just making the switch from self-managed to plan managed, or making the switch from a plan managed to another one. We find that it just seems like this huge task, which I get. Anything as a parent, especially when you're raising a child with a disability, just any extras. I know I don't do it. I'm like, I don't have the time for anything else. So it is very simple with us, and that, I guess that's where we get it as well. So everything that we do is sort of laid all out for you. So if you want to switch, the email template's done for you. Just all those little things are done for you. So you don't even have to find the NDIS number. You don't have to find any of that or put the wording together. Everything's done. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Which is very helpful.
Sounds amazing. And you're talking about this Barb app. I don't know what this is.
Okay. So originally it started, like I mentioned, one of our co-founders, Andreas, he's just a genius in the tech world space. Our app, we placed, it's really bad. I'm sure it was second in an AI sprint in Australia.
Oh, wow.
He just does amazing things, and we have an amazing tech team behind us. But it was something we have an NDIA grant which is facilitating our free support sessions, and Barb is sort of helping do that. So I guess Barb is she came about as sort of an AI character, and Summer had the idea of, like, let's make somebody, but let's make it like you're talking to an auntie, like an auntie that's a friend and really down to earth and relatable. She's like, what do you think? I'm like, yep. And we named her Barb.
Great.
And I even dressed up and made her into a character. So my face in a wig is Barb. We really went all out. But that's sort of what it is. It's, I guess, this is how I explain it. I'm probably not doing it justice, but to make it make sense, it's like ChatGPT for the NDIS, I think.
Yeah.
So when our members were using it, everything we've built with her has been co-designed with parents. So when we were using it with our plan management members, it was, you could ask her anything and she would give you advice in a second. She had the NDIS plan. So like, for instance, I would like get to write a carer statement, because she already knew about our journey, she knew about Willow. So I guess that's that AI chat GPT aspect. But she's sort of leveled up a little bit now that they've called knowledge graphs. So her brain has all these different knowledge graphs. It understands what that whole disability parenting journey looks like. She's been trained to know the NDIS inside out, all the guidelines, the latest rules,
Wow. Great.
everything.
Amazing.
So the idea is that will be the e-navigator to assist families, so they're not at home Googling, trying to figure out these questions. Obviously there is ChatGPT and you can ask, but it's not reliable for something
No.
so important like this. So also training her, which is already very precise with what you can buy. So it'll be trained to know, well, what's in your plan, what's the funding, what are the latest rules specific to you. And I guess that component now is going to help facilitate our free family support pathways. So when parents come in with a question, we are able to create flexible employment opportunities for parents with Barb as sort of that e-navigator. So that's the brains, the parent, I guess, that we relay it on, and like, this is what you have to do, easy steps, not thousand things to check off, just a
Amazing.
tool. So that was probably a very long-winded
No, it's amazing. So do you see this technology solution helping families then navigate the NDIS more effectively as it?
So I guess it's turning like a very confusing system into something clear and empowering. So they're sort of ahead of it. They feel confident in making decisions. It takes that overwhelm away. So that's sort of the idea. It can sync them up with like the supports that they need. The ideas are endless with what's happening, but at the moment, the real first stage is sort of really getting to understand what can be spent with your NDIS funding, because we know that's a question that so many families are finding really tricky to navigate. That's sort of the first layer we're really rolling out.
Yeah, awesome. And you've spoken quite a lot about the sort of lived experience. It sounds like the peer-to-peer, supports seem very central to Kindship. Like, what do you think community, or why do you think community connection is so powerful to this, this community?
So I think you're right. That's where, and as a startup, we're doing so many things, but our central core focus is community first. And then it's that community, what do they need from us? Like, do they need to be pointed to meetups and more connection, or do they need to be pointed to support or NDIS? So community very much is our forefront of everything that we do. And I know myself, I've mentioned a few times about how I came across with Kindship and what our Instagram was and the opportunities it presented to me. But something significant that I think Willow was one, and I was seeing all these other children with cerebral palsy, and they were having this operation. And I'm like, what is this operation? So I only found out about it through our Instagram page. I started chatting to families and asking about it, and I got so much information from them. I went to our specialist team and asked them about it, and to which it was a flat out no, don't do that. It's not for her. I was like, okay. I obviously trusted the professionals.
Of course.
That was it. Like, I left it. But I kept doing my own information. I kept talking to parents, and this was over a space of probably 2 years of that, talking to parents, bringing it up, getting knocked back by our team. And I kept learning more. And then there was a few appointments that stuck out to me. One was with our pediatrician, and he even said, he's like, you seem to know more about it than I do. And I was like, but you've been saying no for so long. And then the doctor that a lot of families were seeing had done this operation, I think it was 4,500 times, and the team that we were seeing at Westmead, they had done it 29 times. And I said at the time, I was like, oh, so that's this year. And he's like, no, that's all up. So I'm like, well, I'm hearing from all these families. And then I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to take this leap of faith. We fundraised to go overseas to St. Louis to see Dr. Parks, who had done this operation 4,500 times. I think I probably spoke to about 60 families that had seen him. Willow got accepted for the operation, and it changed her life incredibly.
That's
I guess that's just the power of that lived experience. Like, we have a great team. I love our therapists. They play such an important role, but nothing really beats that lived experience. I guess from that proactive way, like finding out what to do next, strategies, but also that personal way. Like, so many, I think our latest survey we did with Kindship, it was just so upsetting to see what parents were saying of just how they're struggling or their well-being suffering, and they're so anxious, and that they just need help and support. And you don't really get that from people that don't understand the journey. So
no, that's it.
Why, and like you guys, that's why you've built what you're doing, because
exactly
people that understand you or understand what you're going through, that's just a game changer.
I think it is. And like, what a powerful story, having that sort of, that peer-to-peer support or the lived experience. Like, it, we see it constantly in Kaboose as well, with, adults from all over the world sharing, whether it's medication kind of, experiences. This is, side effects that I've had, and, through to workplace strategies, through to wellness strategies. And then we have our mental health, hangouts as well. And, just being able to just share what's worked, what hasn't, resources. It makes, such a difference.
It really is everything. Like, what I shared was obviously a big story, but it's those little things as well, like behavior or transitioning to the car. And I remember Willow, when she was younger, she couldn't stand being somewhere, but then wanted to go, and then I'd try to take her, and then there was meltdowns and I couldn't get her to go, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. But it was speaking to other parents, and they're like, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And just little things. Getting to the car helps. But then having these life-changing operations that I wouldn't have known about help. Willow and it wasn't about walking independently. It was just about giving her a better quality of life. But she was struggling walking in a walker. She could barely do it. By the time she left the United States, she was taking a few independent steps. And
wow, amazing.
It really is. Community really is incredible and very much needed. And I guess so Kindship, we have the online, but we do a lot of in-person meetups as well. So
okay,
come along, have a coffee, get out of the house. That's not for everyone as well.
No.
People that might sound just so overwhelming connecting like in person with somebody. And that's why, like, next Friday we've got a social event. Come online, we're going to play some games and just chat.
Nice.
So there's a little bit of everything, because like our kids, everyone's different. They have their own personality and comforts. But community can look so many different ways. It could be just scrolling the feed and never asking a question, but just watching people and thinking, oh, they get it. It can look like anything.
Amazing. How do you see this sort of evolving over the next few years in terms of digital communities shaping the future of disability support?
Yeah, I think like our big goal is for Kindship to be sort of the community you didn't know you needed when you have a child with a diagnosis. So I guess no one's looking to be in this community, as hard as that sounds. But once you're in there, the people that you meet are just so fantastic. So it's just providing that first, and then sort of helping parents feel informed and empowered and capable and supported, not just with the NDIS, but with school and with therapy, and just their everyday life, their self-care, absolutely everything. Just taking something that is a very overwhelming journey, especially when you're first starting out, just making it not seem as scary, making it seem that they're actually not alone, they're supported, we're here for them whenever, however they want, whenever they choose. To help them along. I guess having parents in the family unit feel empowered and confident, like, follows on to our children as well. So we're very big on looking after yourself, and very big on empowering families to know that they are the experts in their child, or they've got so much to add to other people's lives as well, which can be fulfilling in itself, thinking like, oh, this is so hard, but your story or your advice could help transform somebody else's day, and that's pretty amazing. So
amazing.
I guess that's our key message has always been making sure parents never feel alone. So I guess
nice,
what it is.
Beautiful. Yeah. And you've spoken a bit about Barb, which she sounds amazing. But looking ahead, what's next for Kindship? How do you expect to grow as an organisation?
Well, we would love to have, I think next week we have 5 in-person meetups happening across Australia.
Amazing.
So obviously just growing them, continuing with our free webinars, making them accessible for everyone. I have mentioned the family support pathways. So that's where you come and speak to a peer navigator. That's just for 0 to 6 at the moment, but obviously there's need way beyond 0 to 6. We're just focusing in that area. So that's something that we would just love to be accessible for everybody. Your community, like adulthood as well. Not sure.
Be great. Many of our community would love that, I think.
Absolutely. And it would be, I think, one other really important thing that has always been for us is providing employment for families. And I guess if we do facilitate sessions for adults, it would be having adults with disabilities facilitate these sessions with the lived experience. So everyone that works for us has a child with a disability, so it's very flexible. We all get it. I remember like when Willie started school, I was like, amazing, I'm going to get back into the workforce. That just didn't happen. I was lucky enough to find, I worked as an educator for 2 days a week within school hours, but even that was a lot because appointments, sometimes you can't help when they're going to fall, or school refusal. She could only go to school a few hours of the morning. So I was like, this just isn't working. So I did that for kindergarten, and Summer reached out actually as it was coming to the end of her kindergarten year, and I was like, I can't keep doing this. And I got that call from her, and I was like, I can work from home. So all of our parents work flexibly from home. Often we'll be this morning we had an exec meeting actually, and one of them was like, oh, I've got to go, I've got to pick her up from school, and we just get it. That's what parents and carers need. It's very, very hard to balance everything with work. So that's another very big thing. We would love to have as many parents working for us and offering this flexibility. That's a very big dream.
That's fabulous. We also dream of similar things, just growing the team with lived experience. And we're very lucky to have volunteers, consultants and employees that are all neurodivergent, and it does make a difference, in understanding what's going on for each person. So
absolutely.
So I guess one final fun question after a big day of kindship and NDIS chats, which I have no doubt can be quite draining at times. And, it's quite, I think it's emotional work, right? When you're dealing with, I know people who've had to deal with me when I'm going through a very difficult time with, one or both of the kids, having someone like you or your team to support is amazing. But what's your go-to at the end of one of those days?
I think that's something we're very big on as well, because we are very mindful that we're also passionate about showing up for the community, but we have our own stuff going on as well.
Exactly.
It is hard and overwhelming. So we are very big on stopping and pausing and making sure we fill our cups up. I guess for me, I feel so much better if I went for a walk or exercise, but that's something I do in the morning. I feel towards the end of the day, if I've had a bad day, or even if that's like a consuming day with work, or if Willow or the girls have been a lot, I clean my house or organize a cupboard. That gives so much satisfaction. I feel like if my house is tidy, or once I've organized the cupboard, I'm like, gosh, I've got my life together.
Love it.
I feel like I can control that. And so I'm like,
yes,
I've got my shit together. Something else that I do though, and I've only just realized lately, I'll always have a little bit of time. I try to go to bed, make sure I don't stay up till late, because that just doesn't help anyone. But I will like binge watch a show, but I can't remember the last time I've watched a show that's new that I haven't seen before. I seem to just keep rewatching the same thing over and over, and I think that's because I just don't have the brain capacity to take in new information. So I find a comfort in just laying there watching something that I've already seen. I've only started doing that lately. That might be a new thing. I would say that's sort of it. Like I do try to be very mindful to look after myself and put those right things into practice. But I guess as well, if I'm not okay, that's okay. I show the girls as well. If I'm not coping with something, like you don't have to hide it in. You don't have to be okay all the time either. And I want them to know that growing up as well, especially 3 girls. Lots of emotions, and they all have their own little things going on.
Lots of hormones running around as they get to high school, secondary school.
Well, I've got a 13, Willow's turning 11, and an 8-year-old. So
we're just
getting into that, that trickier stage. But so I think it's showing them you're human, but I also want to set an example for them as well. It's okay to be sad, but you've also got to do something about it. Like you can't sit there and cry, like something that makes you happy, or go for a walk, whatever it is.
Amazing. I know what you mean about the end of the day. Sometimes it is choosing the TV show that's like really easy to digest, whether it's something you've seen before, or for me, like even watching, we call it Kevin, on the home shows and things like that, where it's just, easy to watch.
Storyline or what's
concentrate, or even get, sometimes the things we like to watch cause, the adrenaline to spike. It's like, no, after a heavy day, probably not a good idea.
You just need, and I think if I've seen it, I'm more than likely to fall asleep. So it's when if I was watching a new series and I'm like, I want to know what's happening next, I'm like, I don't have time for that. So that's probably another reason I do that as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. I think we don't have any questions in the chat that I can see. So really appreciate you taking the time at the end of what has probably been a busy day to talk to us. And I know there are plenty of people who will be listening to this recording to get some insights into kindship, and also the NDIS. So
Yep.
we'll be making sure we send those resources out as well, and
Yes.
pointing people to your organisation. So thank you for sharing all of that great information.
Thank you for having me. I'll make
Yes.
sure I send you the list with all the resources and
amazing. Thank you.
Connect group and play management if that's something.
Great. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. There's plenty of that. And just a reminder for everyone that we have a couple of other Divergent discussions coming up this month. We're talking to Ruby Susan about disability rights. We're talking to the co-founder of Understanding Zoe's, who has a neuroaffirming parenting app. So you might have heard of that as well. You can get tickets through the app or our website. So look out for those. And thank you again.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me.